we have new features that we've released in the last few months of HHC, so I'm just going to show some of those. And then I'll talk a bit about HHC Plus, which Michael was talking about, Secure Plus, and then we'll go to the settings in terms of some of the features that are built into the product itself, into the Windows console that people aren't aware of. And then I'll review and demo Secure Plus as well. So we'll start with a couple PowerPoints, and after that what we'll do is we'll go to a live demo on the console and the device itself. So some of the features that you'll see today are we do have a favorites button, card scan and import. This is a request we've had for a long time. So right from your CAM card, you can take the picture of the card, it puts it into your native address book, and now we can import anything you scan in, also other contacts from your native address book. We have custom searches that also allow you to email blast from your device. Handheld Contact Plus. There's nothing much to demo on Handheld Contact Plus except for the ability to add additional 15,000 contacts, so that would give you 30,000 contacts at the first step, and then you can add 30,000 contacts for a total of 45,000. Now the only limitation is if you are running older devices, iPhone 4 for example, that type of thing. From our side there's no limit. We've done the full testing of 40,000 contacts along with full notes and histories, and the user experience is quite positive. Then I want to talk to you about Secure Plus. And Secure Plus we built specifically for the financial service and for the HIPAA. Handheld Contact currently is secure, but the HIPAA as well as for some financial services companies have their own set of criteria in terms of timeout, authentication, as well as wiping data. So I'm going to cover user authentication, locking of the app, and not just of the app, but also of the console. And so nobody can go in and make changes on your computer. You can disable the app remotely, automatically wipe data. Everything on the device is encrypted, and I'll talk a bit about central management and a safe approach to server access. So what I'll do now is I will bring up the console. Just give me a second while my computer refreshes. And so Handheld Contact Console is, as most of you are probably familiar with it, this is where you do your full management of your ACT database for Handheld Contact. As you can see, one of the things you might notice that's different from what you have see on if you're running Handheld Contact is there's a lock in front of each of these. That means each of these accounts I have on here are Secure Plus. So what I'd like to do first of all is why don't we go down the user information. This sounds like pretty basic stuff, but I want to show you something. Once you're set up, if you click on your HHC user, one of the things we have is people don't realize in advance, excuse me, this is where you can limit what you can do on the device. So you can limit it to only a one-way export from ACT to Handheld only, and sometimes we have companies that only want people to read information, not to make any edits, so they can check that off. Then you can limit your exporting contacts to the native address book. And this is for companies who are very protective of their data and don't want the user to have any ability to export the contacts from their Handheld Contact, their ACT contacts into the native address book. And you can also limit the importing, so people cannot import. The new feature I'm going to show you, you can do it so that nobody can import into your ACT, into your Handheld Contact, which then synchronizes back to ACT. Okay, the other thing I want to show you is under, hit cancel there, under ACT user. Here, one of the things people always ask is, I'm deleting in Handheld Contact, but it's not deleting in ACT. So if you want to delete permanently on your device, then you just check this off, and that will delete the information ACT. A lot of companies want that off because, let's say, I don't want a certain contact on my mobile device, and so I can delete it, but it's still in the ACT database. So those are a couple of things that once you're set up, you can take a look at and make changes as you go along. Now under the contacts info, there's just one thing I want to show you here. I'm going to synchronize groups, and then if I'm not syncing all the contacts and I go to advanced, I can also go through and I can exclude all cleared activities right from here. And we have some companies that only want to sync specific groups and no activities from those groups, or from other groups. So they can go here and they can set this into the future, so none of the activities will be synchronized, just the people that their salespeople have in that one group. So the next thing I want to show you is under activities. Now here you can see this is all standard stuff. You can select all the activity types, but when I go to advanced, right here is where you'll find a list of all the other ActiveAct users in your database. So then you can choose, or the administrator can choose, if you want to sync other people's activities to your device, and then on the device you can filter for those people, and so that can be done at the admin level here as well. Now notes and histories, I won't show you much there because those are pretty standard, but I do want to cover one thing in field mapping, and this is a very important feature, is in field mapping here, as you go through, all the standard fields are in 1 to 28 in your field mapping. After that, this is where all your custom fields come in. So you can synchronize up to 60 custom fields. So I've chosen some here to sync already, but the issue I want to point out is on the right-hand side, you can see here that we have drop-down menus. Now, example, if I check off drop-down menus of cities, one, I have to resend all the data, but the key thing here is if you check the drop-down menus, it will limit you to those drop-down menus on the device itself. So if you want to, if you'll be adding new cities, then you don't want to check that off. Yet in other situations, as we can see, departments, job titles, and as we go down, a status ID or last results, I have checked all these off so that on my device, I will get the 4 client types that we have identified, beverage preferences, that type of stuff. So this is something that can be customized for each user themselves. Then I want to show you a couple things in terms of on the tool side. I'm going to go to Tools, Manage Databases. And here I'm just going to click on the database and hit Edit. And this is where you can also, at the database level, if you want to do deleting from handheld, delete from Act. So as you see before, when I was in the contacts info, we could do that at the user level, but you can also do that at the database level. So I just want to point that out for you there. Now the next thing I want to show you is customize sync schedule. The only thing I want to show you here is if you're doing automatic backups of your Act database, feel free to turn off sync during that time. It just speeds up the process. It doesn't damage any information or corrupt any information, but it just speeds up your system going through. The key, what I want to show you here is security, and this is where Secure Plus comes in. As you can see, it locked me out of here right away because this is Secure Plus. So as an administrator, even I need to put in my password. So even if your users have access to this, if you have Secure Plus, you can block it. And so here are the features of Secure Plus, and I'll show you them on the device in a few minutes. We have security settings so that we can automatically lock Handheld Contact. So let's say you have very secure data on there, and you wanted to make it inactive, lock it after 1 minute of inactivity. For demo purposes, I'm going to set mine here for 5 minutes so that it doesn't lock me out as I'm doing my demo. And the other thing you can do this is all at the admin level, you can go in here and you can permanently disable. So if somebody steals the device, and you can say after 3 attempts, after 5 attempts, 6 attempts, 10 attempts. So this is part of the HIPAA compliance. One, that you can automatically lock the mobile device after inactivity, and 2, that you can permanently disable it after so many attempts. And then you also have the option to wipe all the data stored in Handheld Contact mobile app when it is permanently disabled. So as soon as it's disabled, all the data will be wiped off. And the other thing, which isn't in the list here, but is part of the Handheld Contact Secure feature, is not only is the data encrypted as it travels from your Act database through our servers and into your device, so it's encrypted the whole passage all the way through, but it's also encrypted right on the device itself. So one of the things people don't realize is sometimes when you delete the app from your device, your data is still there. With Handheld Contact, the data will not be there, and while it is there, while you're using it, it is fully encrypted. And then you can also have, as an administrator, you can have be sent notifications if if the account has been disabled. And the only one who can switch Handheld Contact back to being enabled again is the administrator. The user themselves have no control. There's nothing they can do. They are permanently locked out of the system till the administrator resends the data and activates the account again. Okay, so that's a quick demo, excuse me, on the console side. What I'll do now is I will bring up the device. And show you what Handheld Contact looks like on the device. So Handheld Contact, as you know, is a separate app on the device. And as you can see, I'm running Secure Plus, so it's asking me to log in, and it will ask me to log in every single time that I close Handheld Contact and move out of it. Or, as I said in my defaults on the console, after 5 minutes, it will automatically be locked going through. So the first thing I want to show you is just some basic Handheld Contact features. As you can see, we have first, last name, and company name showing. And one of the questions we always get is, well, what if I want to search a street name or a zip code or a postal code? Or what if I want to search a company name? So what we can do from here, we can click on the upper right-hand corner, and then we can choose Additional Field. And here I can go through, as you can see, these are all the standard fields in ACT, but then I also have all the custom fields that I decide to sync with this data set here. So what I'm going to do at this point, I will just choose city. But as you can see, you can also choose the addresses. So if you want to search by street, we just had this question a couple days ago by a client. They said, I wish I could search by street. Well, you can. So it's just a matter of choosing the city. And now I'm just going to go through, and you can see we now have cities underneath all the contact names. So we show first, last name, company name, and cities as well. As you can see, we've obviously changed all the names of the cities in the database so that nothing is identifiable. But what I'll go through is, let me go through and I will show you one contact here. Let me just see, I'll take Alice. And so with Alice, what we can do, there's a couple of things that some people know but others have forgotten. Right from here, I can just click on my address field, and I go to right to my Google Maps, and then I can do my directions, my driving. As you can see, I've chosen 2 Tweed Street, and then if I go back out of Google Maps, I go right back to my contact in ACT. The other thing you can do is you can also send an email, just clicking on the email address. And then what a lot of people don't realize is when we go to, I go to subject right now, and then I also have the option of using my voice to text. Handheld Contact Demo. Please call Alice when the demo is completed. Please call out, oh, I've got my Google isn't working here for me. Please call Alice. Sorry, my speaker system is not working here properly. Let me just back out of that. And we will try again. There we go. I better stop talking or it will keep recording my message. So right there with Handheld Contact, you can not only send an email which records as history, but you can also do voice to text in any of the fields, text fields in Handheld Contact. So there I can prepare the email, and then I can send it off. I'll just send it by email, and then that's taken care of. So as you can see, I will just go back to Alice, and then if I look in the history, I will see Handheld Contact Demo, email sent January 25th at 2:17 p.m. So again, it's very simple to use, and the voice to text has many advantages when you're going through. So the other thing you can do is if I go back to my contact list, I can also sort then by city. If I'm looking for people in a certain city, you can go through and then you can sort it that way as well. Now the next thing I want to show you is I will do a quick jump to the calendar and just show you a couple things there that people often do not see. One thing I will do is I'm going to click on in the upper right hand corner in the menu button. And remember how I showed you in the console where you can choose other calendars. So you can click in here and you can choose which calendars you want to see. So right now I've unchecked the designer, and so I will only see my own contact, and I'm demo here at this point. The other thing you can do is right from here, you can click on the drop down right there, and then you can also choose to see day, week, and month. My preference is always the month view because I can go through and I can just highlight every single day, and in that day it will show me whatever contacts or whatever activities I've got scheduled from the day. Now the other thing is right from here, when I click on that activity, I can clear that activity by hitting the check mark here. I can make changes to it, and I can edit it, I can forward it. And the other thing I can do is if I'm in the activity and I want to call Alice, right from here I just click on Alice's name and it takes me right to the contact. And if I go back, it takes me right back to the activity again. So just very simple. That's basic stuff within Handheld Contact. One of the other things I'm going to show you is now I'm going to show you some of the new features. I'm going to go back to my home button, my home screen. And here you can see we have the new features are the searches, import contacts, and favorites. So I will show you the favorites first of all. So I'll just go into my contacts. And in my contacts, I will open up, let's take a look at Bobby. And in the upper right-hand corner, you see the star. I click on that star, and now Bobby has been added to favorites. So if I go back to my contacts and to my favorites, here we are. These are my favorites, and Bobby Cook, as you can see at the bottom, has been added to my favorites. So this works similar to your iPhone or Android favorites list. It's just a quick way. I have in my own personal one, I have about 20 numbers in here, so when I need one of those numbers, I can jump to my favorites, and I've got them in front of me. The other thing I want to demo is importing of contacts. As I told you before, we work with CamCard, or any card reading. So what happens with the card reading is you go to your cam card, you take your picture. I won't take a picture here, but we've taken pictures of other ones, Victor Cron here. And what I'll do now is once you've taken the picture of a card, you just go back in to Handheld Contact. And then if I go to import contacts right here, you can see these are all the contacts in my native address book. Now, we've got it set up so the last contact that you have, you can put up top. So what I'll do is I will choose Victor Cron, and then I'm going to import the contact. It says select native address will be imported into Handheld Contact. Continue. I'll go yes.
Hey, Victor, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but apparently we've lost your sound. Victor, can you hear me? All right, hold on, everybody. Apparently, looks like we lost sound on Victor. Hold on 1 second while we fix that up. Hold on. Vic, we lost your sound, so I'm not sure if you can hear me, but if you see my screen, if you could fix your sound on your side.
All right, am I back in?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Vic. I'm going to make you the presenter again.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, can you see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay, where did we lose you, or did I lose you?
Probably about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, I will go back to, so what was I showing before?
You were showing about taking the data, exporting it over to the native contact.
Importing it in? Okay.
Importing, I'm sorry, yes.
So, all right, so with the import, not only can you import anything that you scan into your device in your native address book, you can also import any of the contacts that you have in your native address book. So the next thing I want to show you is searches. And in the searches, as you can see, we have 2 searches already. But what I will do is I will start another search, and then I will call it, I'll just shorten it up here since I've lost a bit of time, Ontario, and I'll put end of month. So once I have that in there, then I can add my criteria. So what I'm going to first of all is I'm going to select the state, the province or state, and I'm going to choose Ontario. And then once I've done that, I can go through and I can add more criteria. I can add up to 10 levels going through. So you can really dig down into your database. I'm going to choose ID status. And when I choose ID status, I'm going to choose customer, or let's choose consultants. Let's see how many consultants we have here. And so once I click on that, I click Save, and it says I have 3 in Ontario. So that's the search that we just created. So right from here, what I can do is up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see now I can also email this whole group. So I will CC myself, I will email myself on this. Well, I'll just leave that blank for now. It'll take too long to type it here. But as you can see, we've got all the 3 users' emails here. Now, these are all private emails, so they're all BCC'd, so nobody will see who they're going to. And then subject, we can do the voice to text again. Testing, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. And then we can type the email that we want, and then in the upper right-hand corner, we prepare the email, and then we choose whether we want to send it with email or Gmail. And I'm going to just send that, and then it goes through, and it prepares the email for me. And the reason we have the in-between step is so that we can capture it to the history. So I'm going to go to Bruce Price's history in the contacts. But we got a lot of prices here. Let's go to Bruce. And now if we go to the history, we can see testing 1, 2, 3. So everything comes through very, very quickly. Now the only thing I want to add is there's one thing that I do want to mention on the console. So this is the demo of the new features in Handheld Contact. We have the favorites, we have the searches, import, and the email blast. But what I want to show you on the console is just 2 troubleshooting tips. A lot of times people say, oh, I'm having trouble syncing, I don't know what's happening. If you go here, you can see we've added a new key up here called User Stats. This will take you to a website. And right here, this will tell you exactly what's going on at our middleware. So it can tell you the last time your Handheld synced, the last time your computer synchronized, and then it tells you if there's any data waiting back and forth. So that's one of the troubleshooting tips. The other one is a lot of times if something happens, you don't think your computer syncing, just hit restart service. That'll start your computer syncing again. The other thing is right here, people change passwords without realizing it sometimes. And if you change your Handheld Contact password, your ACT password, you can go right here and just quickly do a test login. And so right here, you will see I've passed the test login, and the same thing for here. So those are the common errors. People change passwords, so you can go right here, test your logins, and then you can also restart the service. So I think time is running pretty tight here. So I'll turn it back to you, Michael, if there's any questions.
Yeah, so Victor, if you check your questions, I have assigned a couple to you that were sort of above my pay grade. So if you want to check that question list on your side.
Okay, let me just see. I don't see any here. Sorry. Oh, I've got to expand the box here a bit. Can you read them to me, Michael? My box is extremely small here.
No problem. So first one is from Karen Rankin. If a customer wants to remove the contacts from their native iPhone address book, is there a way to do that automatically?
At this point, there isn't, but we are working on that feature right now. So from the native, no, because once they're exported, we have no control, but we are working on another component where once they're in there, we will be able to delete them from the native address book as well. Only your ACT contact. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, next one. Is there any way to limit which contacts from the users list get exported to their native address book? We have clients whose car has a, I'm guessing card maybe, has a 1,000 contact limit, or only want users to be able to export their own contacts.
That's one of the suggestions that actually came from one of our resellers, and it's a very good suggestion, and we are working on that one as we speak, because what we will do, especially with the Handheld Contact Plus, where we can add up to 30 and 45,000 contacts, we are creating a mechanism that you can actually choose which group. So it'll be a bit of takeoff of the search group, where you can choose which group you're going to synchronize down to your native address book. So yes, that is coming.
Okay. Next one. Let's see what we got here. There are saved searches available on the user's HHC main screen. Is there a plan for them to also have recent lookups and or certain contacts that are saved to sort of a speed dial list?
I don't think I'm understanding the question, Michael. I mean, that's something like what we have in the at this point for the favorites, where you can. It's not a speed dial, but you've got the list of your favorites there that you can call from.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand that as well. There's saved searches. Is there a plan for them to also have recent lookups? I'm guessing the recent lookups, not so much the saved searches, but like if you did a lookup on the city being Toronto, sort of like how ACT has look up the previous 10 lookups. Is there a plan for Handheld Contact to sort of have something similar to that, looking at your most recent lookups?
Not in terms of lookups from your native address, sorry, from your Handheld Contact address book, but in terms of the searches, all the searches will be saved going through. So any search you've done, you can either delete them. So you have a choice of, let's say that one, New York. I can go through and I can delete that search. So I'm going to delete that one and it's gone. So you have the choice of keeping the searches or deleting them. But in terms of from the Handheld contact list, if you do a search there, we do not have that. But I will take that on as an idea that we'll take a look at.
Okay. Next one, is Secure Plus an additional cost?
Yes, Secure Plus is $129.95 going through. So it's a totally separate app that goes on it, and it encrypts the data quite differently. So it's a same application, except there's components that are activated and encrypted through Handheld Contact Secure Plus. So the price is $129.95.
Okay. And the next one, what security risks have been found for users that are not using a Secure Plus version?
At this point, the only security risk is if you lose your device and you don't have your device password protected, but that we have no control over. So it's not as much for Secure Plus, it's not as much a security risk as it is requirements from HIPAA or from some financial services companies, where you have to have on every third-party application you have on your device, anywhere you have client information, you have to have the ability to lock out and remotely have the data encrypted on the device and remotely wipe that data from an administrator point of view. So it's more along requirements. Handheld Contact is secure the way it is. The information is encrypted from one end to the other. It's just that on the device side, it's a requirement for a lot of the health providers if you have client information on your device.
Okay. Through here. Okay, ETA on this version, I believe it's released, right, Vic, or very shortly as far as the HHC
Very
Plus?
shortly, we're just doing final testing. The Handheld Contact Plus has been released in terms of you can purchase more contacts. The Secure Plus, we're just in the final testing stages on the iOS, on the iPhone. The Android is ready to be released already. So the iOS, the Android, either it has been released or it will be released very shortly, with iOS following within a week or two.
Okay. And then any ETA on the companies and opportunities being added to Handheld Contact?
The latest will have companies and opportunities. I won't say companies, I'll say opportunities I know for sure. Opportunities and secondary contacts is what we're working on right now. And the latest that'll be is end of second quarter. We're hoping to get it out earlier.
Okay. And somebody asked what version we're currently looking at. Is this the 7.02 version that was demoed today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the latest version we have here.
Okay, a couple other questions, a couple of repeat ones. Okay, here's a question. Any way to choose starting values to be used when entering new activities? Not quite sure what that's meant by that.
Maybe somebody can send me an email if they want. My email address is vic@handheldcontact.com. You're welcome to email me those questions.
So Joe, you were the one to ask that question. If you're still on, Joe, if you want to email Vic, he can answer that question more clearly. If you maybe just explain a little more of what you're looking to do there. Let's see, we have another question here. Will HHC be able to sign a business associate agreement since our protected health information will be located on its servers? That is required by HIPAA.
Yep, send me the email and I'm sure we can. Now, in terms of our data, the data on our server, it's called what's called, the old way of calling it was store and forward. So the information goes to our server, and as soon as it's received on the other end by the device or by the console, it's erased off our server. So we don't store your data. We get asked that question many times, is, I've lost my data, can you give me a backup of it? We do not store the data on our server. So it's called store and forward, so it stores it till it's forwarded, and then it's deleted off our servers. But yes, send me the email, whoever asked that question, at vic@handheldcontact.com.
Okay. Next question. I sync my laptop and desktop to my ACT database. Do I need to have HHC on both devices?
No, you just need to install Handheld Contact on whatever your main database is, and I assume that would be your desktop, and then that would sync out to your device, and your device back to that main database.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, how do you address duplicate contacts?
Within Handheld Contact, if there are duplicate contacts coming in, there's nothing we can do about it. That's your database where the cleanup needs to happen. Within Handheld Contact, we do check for, we have duplicate checking. So if you're entering a contact that is already in there, it will do a duplicate check for you.
Okay. Any ETA or any thoughts of bringing relationships in from ACT?
At this point, that isn't on our immediate roadmap.
Okay.
It's something I can put in the list.
Okay. Can a favorite list be reorganized?
No, it cannot be, if I understand correctly, in terms of the order of the, I think they're talking about the order of the contacts where they're listed. No, at this point they cannot be.
Okay. Okay. I would like to send email history to HHC and show email content, but the only way to do this is to not save the full email as an attachment, which I like to do in ACT. So I think what the question is here is Vic, is they want to attach the email in ACT and then show the content on HHC.
Oh no, at this point we do not sync attachments.
Yeah.
Only histories.
Yep. And moving forward, if a user's question is here, if they upgrade from Handheld to Handheld Secure Plus, what is the process, and is a new account needed, or is it just a matter of sort of switching things on the server? What's the process?
Switching things on the server in terms of adding the license key, so you can use the same account.
Okay. Why is there such a long list of names in the import contacts section?
Because it also looks at your native address book, so you can import from your native address book as well.
Okay. If I text a client, why doesn't it show the entire text message in history?
That's something that we originally had on, and then we were asked to take it off by a lot of clients because they sent many texts during the day and it clogged their histories. So what we're doing is it'll be in probably 1 or 2 releases down the road, we will give people the option of including the SMS history in the history. So that is coming. So you'll have the option of choosing whether you want to. Yeah, it'll be a preference setting.
Okay, great. How can you include an email signature to HHC? Susan, I guess that's just in your main email on your mobile device. You would set the signature there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vic, because HHC is just basically a conduit to that email, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Susan, you would just add it to create a signature within your default email on that mobile device, and then you should have that email signature then whenever you send an email from HHC. Does the sync work if you are away from your device? If you are away from the device is away from your main database? On
the device, if if the app is open in the iOS and Apple, it will synchronize in the background. On the Android, it acts as a service, so it always synchronizes in the background automatically. You can turn off the syncs if you want and just do a manual sync. You can do that in the settings on the console. But you don't have to be if your computer's on, Handheld Contact will run as a service even if you're not there. It always runs as a service. Same thing on the Android devices. And on the iOS, if it's open, if it's in the background and open, then it will synchronize as well.
Is there a summary document on the Plus that I can share with a customer?
We can put one together very quickly. We do have blogs on our website, and those have have a lot of detail and have most of the information in them. If you go to Keystroke, I will also make those available in Handheld Contact. Why don't I do that? I will make the blogs available in Handheld Contact as well.
Great. Okay, I lost my track here. Here we go. Can you export a V card? Barry, you might want to email us with more information on that one. Because HHC is not a V card, so you might have to send us more information on what you're looking to do there. Okay, another question about duplicate contacts. We already answered that. One of the questions was, everything we're demoing is not yet available on the iPhone. But can you just go over real briefly sort of what's available on the Android that we looked at today? So, and just so everybody knows, we demoed it on an Android today, and then some of the things are not available on iPhone. So, Vic, you just want to cover that real quick about what's not available on iPhone?
On iPhone, all the search feature and the email feature, the email blast, as well as importing and all the new features are available on the iOS. What we haven't finished testing with the iOS is the 45,000. We're just going through those paces at this point. So all the other features are available on the iOS at this point, and Secure Plus will be and will release within a week or two. By I'd say second week in February at the latest, but we will have that one up very, very shortly. It's built already. We haven't gone through all the testing.
Yeah.
So at this point on this, we do have like all the features I showed you here before are available on the iOS as well.
And just to follow up on that, PJ, some of the features are just in different places, so they may not be the exact same steps that Vic took today. So if you have any questions about a specific feature that maybe you think you're missing, let us know, and we can sort of point you to where to get to that exact feature on your iPhone. Just another question about the pricing. Secure Plus, $129 versus $79, correct?
Correct.
Vic? Okay,
yes.
For the regular. Does Secure Plus handle medical and financial users? I'm guessing as far as making sure they're HIPAA compliant, I guess, would be the question.
Yep.
Okay. So, okay.
Because we built this with one of our clients who was in the medical field, in the pharmaceuticals, and another one in home care, and so they wanted to carry their data with them. So we got the requirements from them to develop that.
Okay. And then are groups available, which are not, but is there any ETA on having groups with Handheld Contact in the future?
At this point, I don't have an ETA on the groups. I just have, we just finished our dev meeting this morning where we talked about the opportunities in secondary contacts. So that's what we have on our radar right now. So we aren't looking at time frame for the other ones at this point. I mean, the information will come, but I don't have an ETA on that.
Okay, here's another question. I guess this is similar to the HHC to Secure Plus, but this is going to HHC Plus from HHC Standard. Should be an easy upgrade path. There's nothing special there, Vic, that they need to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just purchasing the license key, the option, and then applying that.
This one's a little bit off topic, but is there a tool for iPhones that allows you to record the screen for tutorials that you know of?
We have, maybe send me an email on that. We do have a program. I mean, I could have demoed on the iPhone today using my Mac, but then, and it's a very good system, but then I would have to jump back and forth with the console because I don't have it installed on the Mac. So,
Yeah.
but there is, for tutorials, you can work live on your iPhone as well, demoing it on your Mac.
So Tony, if you want to send Vic an email, he can get you the information on that you're looking for. What app is being used to demo HHC today? What's that app called, Vic? People want to know.
The one I'm using here, it's called Droid at Screen. Right there, Droid at Screen.
Okay, another couple duplicate questions we've already answered. Okay, do I understand correctly that my current HHC will not show this current search filter options? This is forthcoming. This is out already, the searches, correct, Vic?
Yes, it's out already.
Yeah. So Bill, if you don't see those search options, let us know, and you may just need to update your app on your device if you don't see that.
Yeah, or if you have questions along those lines, just email service@handheldcontact.com. Service@handheldcontact.com. If you have usability issue questions, that type of thing.
Is there a way to import emails and text directly into activities on HHC?
No, there's not.
Okay. Yeah, so the best case there, Dina, is probably just to copy and paste those into there. Okay. Will a PowerPoint be available afterwards, Vic? Will we send that out? Are you going to be able to send that out to the...
Yep.
We can probably send that out with the recording, right? Okay. Yeah, we'll include that with the recording afterwards. When syncing with the native DB on the phone, it creates a duplicate. How to resolve that?
You mean when... that's a question that you need to email service. It depends what your setup is like.
Yeah, so David, it
depends on handheldcontact.com.
Got that, David? Your question about the dupes, you want to email service at handheldcontact.com. It depends on how the duplicates are, I guess, created, for lack of a better term, and where they're created at. So a couple different ways to handle that.
That's a tech support question. We won't deal with those right now.
Yeah. And the question is, why can't handheld be shared if a person has an iPhone and iPad? They have to buy it per user. That's the basic question. You know, it's a per device license. It's not a per user license. Otherwise, one person could install it on all their devices, and we don't know that they're the actual owner of that device. So that's pretty simple.
Well, and the reason is because of our security. Yeah, because of our security. Because Handheld, we don't store. If we stored your data on our servers, that wouldn't be a problem. We could sync it out to 10 different devices. But because we don't store the data, as soon as let's say you try syncing 2 devices to one account, if one account picks up the last sync, the last data, there's nothing for the second device to pick up because we literally, it's erased off of there. So it's from a security standpoint, because we used to have one of the U.S. government departments, when they used to use ACT, had a large contingent of handheld contact users, and that was one of the first requirements when we started about 13, 12 years ago, is that the data had to be erased off our servers. And so that was done from a security standpoint right from the start.
Okay. Will you be able to accommodate email addresses that have spaces, such as for Lotus Notes when saved in ACT? The spaces are removed. I didn't know email addresses could have spaces.
Yeah, no. Well, at this point, I don't see that on our roadmap. It's not a request we've had before.
Is there an alert by email feature if any user sync should fail?
There are right now. I have to think back to one of the components, but the other one is we do send a notice, I think, a week or a week and a half after somebody has failed to sync, either on the computer or console. We do send a notice out. I can check on that in terms of the higher level settings. If you want to, whoever asked the question, just email service@handheldcontact.com.
Okay. is there a start screen option to, for example, bypass the main screen and go right to contacts or calendars immediately? Sort of like how ACT, you're able to select your start screen within ACT when you open it up. Is there a way to sort of select your handheld contact starting screen rather than just that home page?
Well, here I'll show on my. If in Handheld Contact, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go to. Let's go to something else. We'll just go to Cam Card, and then I'll go back, and I'll go to Handheld Contact. So if you leave Handheld Contact and it stays open, you go back, it will pick up where you left off. But at this point, that is a request we've had, so that is on the wish list in terms of setting your default opening screen. But at this point, it will go back to, if it's been left on, it will go back to where you were before you left.
Gotcha. So the only time it goes to the home screen by default is if you were to shut it down, log
Correct.
out, or close it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can you demonstrate creating and using a search on the iPhone?
I don't have the iPhone.
I don't think we have time for that, right?
So.
Yeah, Bill, we don't have time for that, but it's very similar to what we did here today. If you still have issues, please email us and we can sort of walk you through the steps. I found country code could be an issue when creating dupes. Okay, I guess that was just sort of more of an informational than question. And then I'm sure it's valid. Do we have a tutorial or YouTube video to demonstrate the handheld contact? I believe we do, Vic. We have a video on YouTube or on the website? Yeah.
Yeah, it should be on the website.
Okay. All right, so it looks like that's the end of the questions there. So we need to, actually, we just got a comment that Vic needs to update the video. So, so that was from Steve McCandlish, by the way, Vic. So you can bug him.
Steve. I'll be seeing you in March sometime.
All right. Oh, one last question here. Can we get fields from custom tables in ACT to sync? So right now, I believe that's a no. Yeah.
No, that is something we're looking at long term, but it won't be in the next couple of releases here. But yeah, that's definitely something that we want to work towards.
Okay. Okay. All right. Vic, do you have anything else for today?
No, I just want to say thank you very much for everybody who joined. And if you have any questions, if you have tech questions and usability, please email service. If you have questions in terms of where you're going, roadmap, or other questions, feel free to email myself as well, vic@handheldcontact.com.
Great. Thanks, Vic. And thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We did record this, and we will be sending that out probably tomorrow sometime at the very latest. We'll send you the link to that and also the link to the PowerPoint presentation as well. So once again, thanks again, and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. I guess that's a good reason to leave